Hello friends, I am Dr. Kuldeep Mohadikar. In this video, I am presenting my 29th chapter from my series Literary Pearls entitled as Keats' Hellenism. Hellenism may be defined as love of Greek art, literature, culture and way of life. Keats is well known, was not a classical scholar, as previously expressed his opinion that Keats was of Greek. Indeed, Keats was clearly representative of Greek thought, in a sense which Wordsworth and Coleridge and Shelley were not. The Greek spirit came to Keats throughout literature, sculpture, and innate tendency, and it's under Hellenic influence as rule that he gives of his best. Like Shakespeare, he knew little Latin and less Greek. He got his knowledge of Greek literature through a study of the Elizabethans, and he was influenced and much excited by study of Chapman's Homer and stimulated his interest in Greek mythology and literature. It is said that he learned by heart Lamennais' classical dictionary, lined deep into translation of classical masterpieces who had made free of classic mythology. There is much truth in the statement of Finney that Keats owes his Hellenism more to Greek sculpture than to Greek literature, but more important still are his temperamental affinities with the ancients. The inborn temperamental Greekness of Keats' mind is to be seen in the love of beauty. To him, as to the Greeks, the expression of the beauty is the idea of all art. And for him, as for them, beauty is not more material, nor spiritual, nor intellectual, but is the fullest development of all that goes to make up human perfection. Keats is Greek too, in his manner of personifying the forces of nature. His autumn is the divinity in human shape. She does all kinds of works and directs every operation of harvest. This is typical attitude of Greek. The Greek temper of Keats is revealed particularly by his joy in the beauty of nature. The Greek took a childlike delight in the contemplation of beauty of nature and saw a god or goddesses behind every object and phenomenon of the external world. This is exactly the way of Keats also. The Ode to Autumn is the remarkable example of such personification. In fact, his attitude towards nature has that simplicity and curiosity and that mood of joy and worship which characterized the Greeks. In his worship of beauty, not of nature alone, but of a beauty, Keats justifies the remarks of Shelley that he was a Greek. Keats' mind was saturated with Greek literature and mythology. He habitually chooses Greek stories and legends for poetry. The Grecian urn is movement of the poet, power of entering imaginatively into another world of beauty, love, festivity, and ritual. It is permeated through and through with Greek spirit. Keats had no first-hand knowledge of Greek literature. He derived his knowledge of the Greek classics from translation and books of reference like Chapman's translation of Homer and Lamennais' classical dictionary. His sonnet on seeing the Elean marble reveals the important influence exerted on him by Greek sculpture. The grandeur of Greek art, its majesty and symmetry and simplicity, its economy of ornament and subordination of parts to the whole come to Keats through his knowledge of these marbles. The Hellenic spirit was reincarnate in Keats. Through his contact with Greek sculpture, he imbibed the classical discipline, simplicity, and as austerity. He was basically a romantic, and in the beginning, his art is characterized by romantic excess. He often surprised by his fine excesses, but at times he could achieve the clearness of outline, the directness and restraint, and the austerity, polish, and finish of the classics. As Arnold points out, the last three lines of Ode to the Grecian Urn is as Greek as anything from Homer or Theocritus. It is composed with the eye on the object radiancy and light clearness being added. But Keats has his limitation as a Greek. He does not write of Greek things in a Greek manner. One of the most characteristic images of nature from the poem Hyperion shows not the simplicity of the Greek but the complexity of the modern sentiments of nature with the concourse of metaphors and epithets. But in spite of his limitation, we find his poetry a rare combination of classicism with romanticism. As Legge and Kazemian puts it, I quote, Keats effects the rare union of classical discipline guided by the example and precepts of ancient with the artist find in romanticism. We may also add that he is not always content with the enjoyment merely of the beauty of form. He often tries to penetrate to the real significance and truth which may at the back of formal beauty. I unquote. So this was all from my side on Keats' Hellenism. Thanks friends.